In the following video comes from a mother named Misty Huron, who recently posted something that she normally doesn't post. Unlike all her videos, this one has left many of her followers deeply concerned and completely spooked. It's a short clip she recorded from her baby monitor, which shows her daughter sleeping inside her crib. But what's strange about this is that even though she was fast asleep, the camera was picking up movement. Clearly, her daughter wasn't moving as much, so there had to be something else in there that was. According to Misty, the only explanation that would have made sense was if her older daughter was still sleeping in this room. However, she isn't.
So we moved my daughter out of this room. Now she's across the hall. But we got all the furniture in, the TV hung. That is like a...
She recently moved into another room inside this house. So, if it's not her other daughter, then who or what is moving? Misty continues to watch to see if anything appears, but nothing does. But after looking closely, she sees it. This is what she saw. Nearly, it appears that someone or something is on the bunk bed. However, no one was sleeping on this bunk bed, let alone staying in this room. Her older daughter used to sleep here, but now she has her own space, which begs the question, just who exactly was on this? Misty has yet to figure this out, which is why she's been posting videos about this in the hopes that someone can. Needless to say, it's pretty freaky. But one night, while touring this exact room where the figure was seen, something completely unexpected happens. Watch.
Okay, a lot of y'all were asking about the room situation, so I'm gonna run that through real quick. We moved my daughter from this room into this room. She got new furniture. That's why the bunk bed is still in there. This is the attic that's in between the rooms that I was talking about that's cracked. It's been that way for a while, so it's not something that I'm overly concerned about, but y'all have got me freaking out in the comments. I cannot even breathe walking in this room, so I am truly terrified, but I'm gonna walk y'all in here real quick. This is the bunk bed. This is where I took her out of her crib, ran up the bunk bed. There was nothing up there when I came. We have her rocking chair, her changing station, her closet with all of the stuff that we still need to put up. This is where I have everything that was gifted. I know a lot of y'all were saying check stuff that came from a thrift store or that wasn't yours, because it might be causing it. I will show you guys up here. There's nothing suspicious. There's no hair from like a rat or something that could have came in. This is marker. These are still tucked in on the sides, like they're still tight from, you know, if somebody was trying to be underneath the blankets. I don't think that's plausible. So I don't know. I have no idea what could be causing it. Oh my God, it's rocking.
All of a sudden, a rocking chair that's placed in the corner of this room begins to rock on its own. But oddly enough, no one else was around to have moved it. Considering what was seen on camera just a few nights ago, Misty can't help but think that her room is haunted. Understandably, since then, she hasn't been inside and won't go in until her husband comes back from his business trip. But until he does, it seems that Misty won't know for sure as to who or what was caught on camera. Troy Lagle says that his house is haunted by a very active poltergeist. Troy says that these strange incidents in his home have only gotten more intense as the weeks go by. Lately, Troy says that the poltergeist has even started trying to interact with his poor little dog. In the clip, it seems like something wants to play, but Troy's dog wants no part of it. The dog just growls and walks away as objects in the kitchen come crashing down behind him. And now, this brings us to something interesting. It's often said that cats and dogs are more sensitive to the supernatural, that they can see things that we can't. In these next clips, we'll look at a few more pets who might just be seeing the other side. First up, Miley Riso says that she's been experiencing some strange things in her home and she thinks it might be haunted. One night, her cat suddenly starts acting up in the kitchen like it's seeing something that Miley can't. It goes wild, knocking things over, hissing, and even scratching her. Miley grabs her phone and starts recording as the cat just keeps freaking out, still seeming to sense that there is something dangerous nearby. Miley says that she couldn't see anything, and to this day, she still has no idea what set her cat off that night. Some towns have secrets that lurk in their streets after dark. This footage was captured by a man filming from his balcony in a town that had been living in fear for months. For weeks, residents had been reporting bizarre and disturbing noises echoing through their neighborhood during the late-night hours. Strange sounds that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, keeping families awake and children terrified. Concerned citizens had organized search parties, scouring the streets and alleyways for any explanation. But every investigation came up empty. Many began to believe that something malevolent was stalking their town, a presence that only revealed itself under the cover of darkness. But on this particular night, one resident finally captured visual proof of what had been haunting their community. What makes this encounter particularly terrifying is how the figure positions itself, almost as if it's been waiting and watching for quite some time. The entity appears completely unafraid of being discovered, suggesting it's grown bold in its surveillance of the neighborhood. This footage finally provided the community with visual evidence of what had been terrorizing them for months. The malevolent presence that residents had sensed but never seen was real, and it had been stalking their streets all along. In this next video, a man just recently moved into a new apartment somewhere in France, and as he arrives one day, he plans to make a video tour to show his friends when, all of a sudden, he has a strange and creepy encounter with his neighbor.
Là où j'habite. Oh. J'ai emménagé avant. Oh.
Je l'avais pas vu.
Pardon, je suis désolé. Je suis votre nouveau voisin. J'ai emménagé avant-hier. Du coup, enchanté.
Tu sens ce malaise?
Ça va, monsieur? Monsieur? Ça va?
Il ne dit rien.
Si vous avez besoin de quoi que ce soit, vous me dites, vous frappez, pas de souci.
Regarde les doigts. Ça veut dire un truc?
Ça va, monsieur? Bon. Bonne journée, du coup.
As he arrives, he discovers his neighbor standing at the door and greets him, but the neighbor doesn't respond at all and just twitches his hand in a strange manner. After some research, he discovered that a former resident passed away in that house and believes his current neighbor might be crazy. On another night, while arriving home, he finds the neighbor's door wide open for a second time and decides to record it when this happens.
Les gars, j'allais ressortir ma chienne. J'ai retrouvé encore la porte comme ça. C'est pareil, on dirait qu'il n'y a personne. Je sais pas trop. Y'a quelqu'un? Jean-Luc? Je sais pas, c'est flippant. Ta mère! Oh la vache! Oh, je vais crever. Oh putain, l'enculé. Oh l'enculé. Oh, j'ai sûr qu'il a fait exprès.
The door suddenly slams shut right in his face out of nowhere, even though there were no signs of anybody there. It's not clear if the man was hiding behind the door the whole time, or if something else was responsible, something paranormal. The next day, he encounters one of the upstairs neighbors and decides to ask him about the man.
Bonjour. Vous habitez l'immeuble? Excusez-moi, je suis votre voisin, en fait, je suis du rez-de-chaussée. Si je peux vous parler 2 minutes, c'est par rapport à mon voisin de palier, là.
Ah ouais, le fou un peu.
Ouais. Pourquoi vous dites ça? Vous avez déjà vu des trucs?
Non, mais je sais pas, il est un peu bizarre. Ouais, pas de fou.
Mais genre, vous avez vu quoi?
Je sais pas, il a l'air un peu possédé et tout, mais...
Possédé?
Ouais, je sais pas, c'est bizarre.
The other neighbor believes he is possessed, and that's why he is strange. Well, later in the evening of the next night, he hears a strange banging sound. So he goes around the back of his garden to see what it is, and finds this.
Je sais pas si vous entendez. Mais j'ose pas aller voir. Ça s'arrête pas. Ah mais attends, je vais passer par mon jardin. Je vais essayer de filmer, attendez, bougez pas. Wow, je l'entends de là le bruit. Pourquoi je suis en rouge comme ça? Je sais pas. Comment je fais pour retourner? Attends. Merde. cette porte elle est ouverte. Putain, il y a un trou dans mon jardin. Vas-y, putain. Vas-y, c'est quoi ce bordel? Allez, vas-y, ça merde.
The man can be seen headbanging the wall repeatedly. After stopping the video, he says the noise continued for about 5 minutes before it stopped. The following night, the man is fast asleep when all of a sudden, he's woken up to his dog barking aggressively towards something at 4 a.m. and captures this.
Quelqu'un qui gratte à ma porte, putain. Je sais pas si vous entendez. Il est genre 4h du matin, ça vient de me réveiller, putain. Oh, c'est qui là? Je vais me casse. Putain, c'est qui ça?
An intense scratching sound can be heard outside his door, even catching his dog's attention. But right after he shouts and opens the door to the lobby, there's nobody there. Whether this man is possessed or there's something more to it remains a mystery, but hopefully we get some more updates soon. As is often the case with paranormal videos, it's usually clips involving children that tend to be the creepiest. That said, even though this next clip is pretty short, its inclusion of a child and something supernatural makes it worth watching. On September 26th of 2025, an aunt records her niece eating breakfast on the kitchen table. It's a seemingly innocent video that was taken 2 years ago. But even to this day, this footage continues to replay in the aunt's mind, as what was captured here is pretty creepy. Watch closely. Like something out of a horror movie, a dark silhouette passes by in the background. It moves slowly, which somehow makes it creepier. But the creepiest part about this, and probably the strangest, is that the light bulb appears to go out when it passes by. It's as though its presence is extremely draining. But that's not all, because apparently if you look closely at the fridge, you'll notice a reflection. But there's something about it that seems very off. As many have noted, it looks as if the reflection doesn't match the child's. It's almost like it's looking back at her. Now, of course, it isn't clear enough to be sure if that's so. Whether pareidolia or something else, it's still pretty creepy to look at. But still, it's the shadow in this video that many are finding hard to explain. Although this clip was filmed a while ago, it's still just as creepy now as it was then. Chris Netzel does daily live streams from graveyards around Fort Worth, Texas, using a spirit box app to try and contact ghosts. Now, to be honest, I'm not such a fan of ghost apps, but during one late night stream, Chris captures something that's a lot harder to dismiss.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, buddy. It's nice to talk to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. It just said Jonathan, bombings 1920s. You are amazing. Mortuary. Right. It just said right.
As Chris approaches an old gravestone, a small white figure about the size of a child seems to walk out from behind a tree and just vanish. Chris doesn't see it, but after his live audience points it out, he reviews his footage and is shocked. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any uploads in the future.